Hello YouTube, back with the next Yu-Gi-Oh! Review, and today I'm reviewing Structure Deck 13, because we didn't get 11 and 12, which were Curse of Darkness, and go with any of the other deck, as don't mind my dog, she's just bored out of her mind here, but yeah, we didn't get 11 and 12, so 13 was the next Structure Deck we ended up getting. We ended up getting the new cards in 11 and 12 as cards in booster sets that were releasing sometime after it probably would have been released anyway. The deck's not too bad. I mean, I think arguably there are definitely some upgrades needed. I mean, I included cards like Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon for obvious reasons, because not only does it fit the theme of the deck, it also helps ridiculously make it work. I mean, it's a very powerful monster, very easy to summon too, and then you can go to town by summoning a whole bunch of dragons from your hand or graveyard. I mean, since you're special summoning, you get to do another special summon on top of that, and then you still have your normal summon. So it's like ridiculous. And of course, it's got some pretty decent reprints in here, some not so great. I mean, I've included Strong Wind Dragon in here. Yes, this is the original print. I don't think they've actually ever reprinted this card. This is an ultra rare version from Raging Battle. So yeah, it's a good piercing beat stick monster, and obviously worked with Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. It's also a 1 tribute monster, so if I need to tribute, I can. There's like a Prime Material Dragon in here. It's another dragon. So of course you notice I've kind of made these to work together. I used to have a fusion in here. I used to have King Dragon, but obviously Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon is way better than King Dragon by a long shot. For a lot of reasons here. And of course, here's the main boss monster of the set. Not that great, though, actually. I mean, his Xyz monster is arguably not that great either. I say it isn't, but I'm sure you're probably going to get a whole bunch of people to say it's totally broken or overpowered or whatever. I haven't really gotten to see it in action, but it does not seem like it's that great of a monster. It's also good to see some nice reprints in here. I mean, some of the more standard cards are in here. And then you also got, I think... yeah, Herald of Creation, I think, is one actually the new cards in this structure deck. It's released here, and then it gets printed elsewhere. But yeah, it's a decent beat stick in here, and also helps you with the dragon support. And also you got nice reprints that go for the lightning in here, which was, I think, originally a tin promo. You actually had to buy the tin. The tins only go for so long, and they're expensive. This is basically getting it for much less than you would otherwise. And this is also the ability to debut a trade-in, which would become a lot more useful now, I think, because a lot of level 8's been released. I mean, Blue Eyes was already usable with it, although you couldn't use it back then because there was no such thing as trade-ins back then. And this is also, I believe, the debut of Foolish Burial in English, because it was out in Japan for quite a while with the Structure Deck Joey Volume 2. That's an ultra rare, but here it is as a common for us. I mean, this is one of the cards not so great in here that's new in here is Dark Blaze Dragon. Because in order to get the most out of it, you gotta special summon it from the graveyard. Right? Yeah, it's gotta be special summon from the graveyard. You have to dump it and revive it. It's not really that good. And then even then you'll have 2400 attack, and then it's got Flame Wingman's effect. But why not just bring out Flame Wingman and do that automatically? Or use one of the other monsters that do it automatically and much better. And this is also, I think a nice reprint of Morphing Jars in here. I mean, most of the time Morphing Jar was pretty hard to get because it was a rare in most... it was rare, at least a rare, if not higher. I think when it first came out, it was Ultra. I mean, it was pretty hard to get because tournament packs were a lot harder to get. They're not just like your typical booster pack Ultra. They're harder. Because those you can get commons. You can get straight up 3 commons. You're paying like whatever the entry fee is, and then you can get a bunch of commons. That's why they sucked so much. And of course, it's got some decent cards in here, I would say. Just don't expect to win with this either. You're probably still going to have to update it. I mean, now we got Xyz monsters and stuff like that. You can further power it up, especially since Belgrand has gotten an update. And I think they've even gone through Rise of the True Dragons. So you can throw those into this as well. And those will get the True Drak Overlords and all that, and those will require. Those are actually really easy to bring out too. They would really help this deck as well. But mostly, I mean, the upgrades are what I did to it. I mean, it's got Mausoleum with the Emperor, which is kind of obviously needed. Otherwise, this deck would not even do well. It's got some cards that are not very good either. Some that are okay. It's think this is also the print of Malevolent Catastrophe. It's the first time this card was ever printed in English. It was in Structure Deck Merrick for a while. I think Japan had it well before we did, as Japan typically does. Japan typically one-ups us in terms of getting releases. But yeah, we've had a couple on our own. But this isn't a bad deck. You'll definitely want to update it if you end up managing to get it, because I think nowadays it's a lot harder to get than it used to be. And if you want to, you know, get the individual cards from it, you're probably going to have to pay a little bit more because of the popularity of how cards work. I mean, trade-in, you still got uses. I mean, trade-in has a lot of uses now, more than I'm sure it ever would have had when it first came out. But I mean, it's also got a nice range. It's kind of too bad they have level 6. It's kind of too bad they don't have level 8. I mean, because level 8 is actually better. I mean, yeah, it's got a summoning requirement attached to it, as I recall, but since you've got, I mean, I probably could consider throwing it in here. You don't need it. I mean, they don't have level up in here either, but you don't really need level up. I mean, all you have to do is trip at level 7 or level 6, and you get level 8 automatically. And with Red Eyes Darkest Metal Dragon, you can easily bring out level 6 and then go level 8. Of course, you got Mausoleum of the Emperor. You pay 1,000 and bring it out. I mean, that works for both players, but chances are your opponent's not going to use it. I mean, it's Mausoleum of the Emperor, I think, has kind of sort of become obsolete because the 2 Dracos require pretty much no effort. All you need is a spell card or a trap card. You just send it to the graveyard. It doesn't even have to be a member. It doesn't even have to support. So it doesn't even have to be like a True Draco support card. It can be any continuous spell or continuous trap. It's pretty easy. You can use a card that you don't even plan to use it for anything else. Just activate it, send it to the graveyard for a nice tribute summon. I mean, it's pretty ridiculous. And especially helps for even the high-level stuff can be pretty decent with this. But overall, it's not a bad deck. I would already say it's better. It's definitely better than what was the last structure deck I reviewed. It may be arguably better than the 9th. I would say it's more than likely better than the 8th. Maybe even the 7th to an extent. The 7th has its own kind of quirky properties, considering that it's got some relatively, you know, okay stall support, especially stall cards. I mean, Ordeal with Traveler can be quite useful if you've got a lot of cards in your hand. Your opponent's probably never going to get it to attack, so you probably almost never have to worry about it unless your hand's all monster cards. But it's not a bad. This isn't a bad structure deck, I would say. Definitely, we got more support for it. Although, even though Konami, I'm sure, did not plan on that. This is not the way they were intended to go, but you can certainly root on it, because we wouldn't get Darkest Metal Dragon as a card until it came out as a subscription. And Shonen Jump Magazine, you probably all remember when that was a physical thing you could buy in stores. You can't do that anymore, it's all digital now. I don't like the way they've gone with that magazine. I like the thrill of going there and getting the magazine and a free card to go with it. And I get the now it's expensive, and then even the jankiest of cards they throw in there are expensive. But yeah, that's my review on Structure Deck Rise of the Dragon Lords. Thanks for